Oh, never mind. I'm unmuted the wrong thing. Let me just... But yeah. Stream. I think that should be yeah, that's working now. I can see on the OBS. But yeah. Yeah, today we're gonna be designing D&D characters. If that part was left out by me accidentally like muting myself. And yeah, so basically like, yeah, cool. Basically the sort of like NPCs I'm gonna be designing today are, a lot of them are like, pretty much like the, like, I guess like the sort of like antagonists in a sort of way. Like, actually I think it's like, better if I just like recount the session that happened this week, because I think that'll probably be like, easier to get like context about, and like I could just like naturally sort of like introduce the characters as I go along. So basically there's this D&D but yeah, okay, so the context behind the campaign that happened in today's session was that like premise behind the campaign, it's a Victorian like inspired sort of like campaign that's ran by a Blobble who's one of my friends and also like part of the Take 5 SMP. And basically the whole like thing behind the campaign is that there is like basically because you know in like D&D there's like a bunch of different like dimensions called like planes and stuff. Like for example there's like hell, and then there's like the abyss, then there's like the Feywild. Basically imagine like that sort of like that sort of like the planes, but sort of like mixed with sort of like fantasy, sort of like Victorian like London, and then that's basically the sort of like sort of premise of the campaign. So basically Victorian like fantasy Victorian London, there was this like weird event that happened before the campaign that that resulted in like a lot of like the planes sort of like merging together inside of like London, and the whole party is like sort of like investigators who get wrapped up in like all of the sort of like drama and stuff. There's this thing with like Queen Victoria where like Prince Albert is actually like an archfey of the Feywild, and their whole like marriage was actually a sort of like political sort of thing. And apparently Queen Victoria's archfey warlock, but we haven't really sort of like got to encounter like properly in the campaign. We've only really like seen her, and like basically like but that's basically the premise of the campaign. A whole bunch of like eldritch stuff. Basically the reason why the planes sort of crashed together in the first place was because there was this eldritch entity who was also responsible for creating everything, who if you guys have watched my my art fight stream, it was the eldritch it's the eldritch Dilf, who basically is like the BBEG of the campaign. Hold on, I'm just gonna write down the names of the NPCs I'm gonna do so I don't forget. Okay. And like that Eldritch Dilf is also my character's dad, which I'll get into in a moment. Basically like but yeah, so far in like the campaign, like we're kind of like just finished like the sort of like beginning of like a new sort of like arc. So we've already went through the first arc, which was sort of like, long story short, like we basically like went into hell to find the brother of another person's like of another character's like player character's like family, and then that ended up in like another like PC's like family also showing up, and then a whole bunch of stuff happened with that. It's a really long story, but like basically yeah, and so that was like Arc 1, and for Arc 2, which is the Arc we're on right now, basically, we've returned back from hell, then we sort of like got we got some like free like a downtime, so the bunch of the party just like did like random stuff, and like one of the sort of like oh yeah, we got invited to like be security at this like big science event, and then I spelled that wrong. Okay. So big sciencey event. I'm pretty sure Blubble, the DM did give it like a proper name, but I wasn't able to catch it, so I just call it big sciencey event. But yeah, basically like what happened with that is that like actually I should probably like go into like my character first, because like that's probably gonna be really important when I like recount the session that happened this week. Basically, my character is called Moira Ward. She is the she's my child's like profile picture right now. And the Eldritch Dilf is also her dad, like I've said. And basically her whole thing is that she's a psychic medium, but like she but not only is she sort of like she can like she's like connected with like sort of like ghosts and like the paranormal, but she's also sort of like into like I keep on saying like basically she's the spawn of an eldritch god, the Eldritch Dilf, and she was created by this cult called the Church of the Divine, who that was actually like the cult was actually ran by like Moira's grandma, which was a wild plot twist, because originally when I wrote Moira's backstory, like I wrote it with like the intentions of like Moira's grandma being the sort of like catalyst of her like going after the cults, because her grandma was actually like nice to her or something like that. But anyways, but yeah, basically like what happened with Moira is that like she was like, even though she was like supposed to be like this like sort of like vessel for this like dark god, great old one, she was raised like as if she was like human, so she was not so yeah, she was like but it wasn't like, she was raised in like a weird way, so it's like being like homeschooled. Yeah, she was homeschooled, and her grandma was the one who was like teaching her stuff. And I remember there was this like whole like solo session I did with the DM, like I think like actually like near the beginning of the campaign, where like basically we sort of like had a sort of like flashback of like Moira's childhood, and what happened with that is that basically she got kidnapped by a sort of like by a sort of like hidden sort of like police force / like royal guard called the Inquisitors, who are basically like genetically engineered like people who are able to like do a lot more sort of like have some like have more abilities. Like I remember the first Inquisitor we encountered in the campaign was a the first Inquisitor of the campaign, like he had the power to like regenerate his body even after like he's died, so he can just like come back to life. So yeah, that happened, and so yeah, where is Max? But yeah, a whole bunch of like, stuff like happened like with Moira over like her backstory. But basically like the main sort of like points of that is that like she was raised thinking she was like a normal human for some reason. And then but then suddenly there was like this sort of like event where like she did find out, and then her grandma sort of like died. I did like leave like the sort of like cause of death like to be sort of like filled in by like the DM, which I could get into like later on, but basically like yeah, her grandma died, which still like made her like start going after the cults, because like even though like her grandma was like super strict on her, like she sort of like wants to like be like her grandma, like oh yeah, because like Moira is like also a part of like a huge like really long like family line of like psychic mediums. Oh yeah, did I mention she was a psychic medium? I think I did. Hopefully. I need to figure out what I was gonna do. Okay. Okay, so this character's really sort of like prim and proper, so I think I'll probably have like maybe I'll do like her arm up like that. And at the same time I don't want to cover out design, so okay, maybe we could just do like oh, actually I think I'll do like the arm sort of like popped out like that, maybe. And she's sort of like that. Okay, yeah. Yeah, back to what I was talking about, Moira. Yeah, I keep using the comes from long bloodline of psychic mediums. She, but she's also actually like the spawn of an eldritch god, and her grandma is like the leader of the cult that was responsible for making Moira and like an eldritch spawn, and then basically like Moira gets raised thinking that she's human when she's not, and then hi Monkey Mayhem, welcome to the stream. I was just recounting basically my character's like backstory for like the campaign that I'm designing for right now. Basically she's actually like my profile picture on this channel. She's called Moira, my baby. Basically she's a psychic medium that's sort of like connected to this like eldritch god that she is like the spawn of. She was created by this like cult called the Church of the Divine, and basically what they want to do with her is that like they want her to be sort of like vessel for like their god, so that way their god can basically just like destroy everything. And then my brain's not working today. But yeah, she gets raised thinking that she's like normal when she's not. then a whole bunch of like shenanigans happened that sort of like including like her grandmother's death, which sort of like led to her like joining a sort of like detective agency, which is where the everyone in the party is sort of like based from. So like basically like if you want to have like the premise of the campaign, basically it's a sort of like Victorian fantasy like London. Wait, fantasy Victorian London. I'm really starting. Oh, thank you. I feel like I should like yeah. My words are not going great today. Thank you. But yeah, fantasy Victorian London. If you're familiar with like the planes in D&D, basically those planes are also existing in this campaign's world, and basically like all like the planes have sort of like merged together and like crashed together in like inside of London, and the whole sort of like story of the campaign is sort of like navigating the sort of like the various like factions that are sort of involved with like stuff, and also sort of like there's like quite oh yeah, so like trying to like find out like what's happened to like the planes exactly, which I guess got solved in like the first arc of the campaign. We're now in the second arc, and also just existing while we're all being like chased by our backstories basically, and sort of like give a sort of like quick like long story short of like the first arc of the campaign. We found out that the reason why the planes crashed together in London in the first place was because of Moira's dad, the Eldritch Dilf, who is actually the sort of like the god who sort of like created everything, and is also like the god that Moira's supposed to be a vessel for. And so like basically like what was happening was that oh yeah, because like I should probably name the Eldritch Dilf Urbeck, because like Urbex's the sort of like Urbex's domain is like sort of like is called the Void, which is basically like the plane between planes, and that sort of like, and I guess because of like actually I think we still don't know exactly why the planes started to merge actually. Epic plot twist. Just so you wait until we get to the session this week, because oh my gosh, it was so yeah, I need to log in. Basically, yeah. Oh yeah, there was this like but yeah, there was like something about the planes, I can't remember exactly, but that plot beat sort of like ended up in like Moira sort of like losing her powers to like a hag that actually tricks her into like letting like the hag like into his like the void, and then the hag did some funky stuff to Urbeck, which we still don't know about. We still don't know exactly what she did. I remember when it happened, like I was theorizing that like, oh, maybe like the hag Aurora, I should name, merged with Moira's dad, or like she's like controlling him in some way. We still don't really know exactly, but those are just my theories right now. We'll probably find out like a bit more into the campaign. But yeah, there's that plot point. Then we had another plot point where we got sent to we got told to go to literal hell by this sort of like scientist like guy who's actually in like the thumbnail of the stream. It's the wolf guy, called Dr. Pritchard, which is his actual name. It was apparently it's like some sort of like unfortunate like naming like or something, I don't know. But yeah, we got told to like go tell by him. He's also one of the cultists of the cult that created Moira, the Church of the Divine. Which is but yeah, we got to but basically like Dr. Pritchard had a student who was also the brother of another PC in the campaign, and so we got assigned to go look for that guy, and then that's what and then, like, with that sort of, like, led into, like, a whole bunch of other stuff while we were in hell. Basically, like, while we were starting to look for the brother, we also discovered that, one of the other PCs is actually, like, a part hag. And there was this really, like, huge plot line where, basically, like, the hag that, not Aurora, another, it's a different, like, hag who's, like, but they're, like, but the hags are, like, part of the same coven. Basically, like, my brain is lagging. But yeah, she was trying to, the hag that, who was the ancestor of one of the PCs, which was actually a pretty huge plot twist that I did not see coming, where she was trying to bring like her like love back to life because her like hag sister Aurora from earlier like killed her lover for some reason. So then basically we had this whole thing about we had to stop like the ancestor hag Gertrude. I need to stop naming the NPCs. I need to stop naming characters in general. Okay. Gertrude from like sort of like doing like resurrecting her lover because her lover because in order to bring back her lover, she needs to basically just like plunge the entirety of London into the abyss, which is obviously not good for a ton of people. So and then like that plotline sort of like ended in a really sort of like really like emotional sort of like ending where basically like the PC who was the descendant of Gertrude who's the Mechanisms fan? Oh hey, hi, welcome to the stream. Oh yeah, they are like a Mechanisms fan. So that could be where they got the names from. So yeah. But yeah, basically like yeah, that ended up really sort of like emotional like moment where because like while we were in hell as well, we were dealing with this whole like other thing where Moira's like my character's cult was also chasing after her. And like when we did encounter them, she like my character actually ended up dying. Cause basically like how they were trying to take her is that like they were trying to just they downed her, and then they brought her to this like machine that was gonna like teleport like all of them like away. But they also had a dragon with them, and like because a ton of like the PCs like the party was like close to like the machine like and Moira was already on like death saves. Like the dragon like just like had like a breath weapon and just like and she just ended up dying. But like then but like we had this sort of like staff from like an earlier session, this like bone staff that could resurrect like people, but it came at the price of like the resurrected person losing all of their flesh and becoming like a living skeleton, and the person who uses the staff to I think like get some of the lifespan taken away. Oh, actually no, it's like for every like 5 days like a number of like hit points gets removed from the hit point maximum, and then so like we had a bunch of like drama over that, to the point where like the the PC who brought back Moira, who was also her lover, Soren. Oh yeah, cause like basically like, the cultists, of like Moira's cult are super manipulative. Like, oh my gosh, like I can't even like describe properly how manipulative they are. Like, I'd have to like show you like quotes from like, cause like my DM's just insane. Like they just like their role playing is like top notch. It's like so good. Like, but yeah, yeah. So like she basically got like sort of like manipulated into like kind of like she almost got convinced to like go back to the cult, like because like my character's like Moira's whole thing is that like, oh like I don't want to become like the messiah for this like evil cult, but at the same time I also don't want like another person to like also like be hurt by the cult. So like if like I'm the only one who's being hurt, then like no one else like will be like hurt. Because I think like the cult is like told her like, oh like we'll just make another if you won't come back. So yeah, then that like happens, like, and then like Soren is like, oh like why'd you like but Moira didn't end up going to the cult at the end. I don't think she would have like actually like went to the back to the cult in the end anyway, because what's it oh yeah, because I think what I wanted to like do is that like I wanted it to be a sort of like, oh like you think I'm gonna like go with you, if you think I'm gonna give you some hope, but like nope, I'm just gonna like take that away from you, I'm actually not going. But that ended up like going like really badly, because like I ended up like rolling like so badly for Moira. Like I got like a ton of like single digit like rolls. It was like that bad. It was very hilarious. And like Soren had to go save her, and because of the whole like Moira said she was gonna go to the cult first, which then sort of like made like all the party's like attempts of like saving her kind of like useless, because like also like earlier on in the campaign there has been a few times where Moira was like saved by the party, but like yeah, that whole sort of thing happened. So then basically what happened like at the end of the plot, the plot line of like the first arc of the campaign, Gertrude and Soren had this really sort of like heartfelt chat where they were like, oh like it's not really worth like sort of like bringing like people back to life, we should just like let them rest. So then like Gertrude is like convinced into like not like bringing back her lover, and like Soren and her like both destroyed like the sword that the lover was like in the whole time, who was also part of like a thing, long story, but like yeah, that's basically how like the first arc ended. Hello. Oh yeah, and like also like like since like Soren and Moira did have like a mini breakup, but like at like the last session of the first like arc they did end up making up. I actually like because I think it was like because my partner, who was like the one who was like playing Soren, like they wanted to like retire Soren and like make a new character. Not really like retire, I think more just like try out a new character. So like basically what the DM did is that they arranged for like Soren to like go away with like Gertrude. And then like before Soren went, like Moira like and him like had this like really sort of like really emotional conversation where Ashley ended up like crying in. And like but yeah, they made up, and now they're like regularly sending letters to each other, which me and like my partner have actually been like writing. So like but yeah, I still haven't started my D&D campaign. I have no idea though. Ooh, okay. Hello, Zuzing. Welcome to the stream. I was just info dumping about the campaign that I'm designing like characters for today. Basically like sort of like explain like the characters like right here. Like these are from like the not the first arc, the second like arc of the campaign. They're like characters who like appeared in the session this week. But yeah, I can like I'll like go into more detail on them like once I like get through explaining like the story of like the campaign. I feel like at this point I really do need to make like I need to make more content, long form content about my D&D campaigns because I love info dumping. But yeah, second arc of the campaign. Ooh. Oh yeah, but like for people who aren't like there, like when I was explaining like some of like the premises, basically fancy Victorian London, a whole bunch of dimensions have like merged together in like Victorian like London, and the party is like an investigation agency, and I think that's like mostly, yeah, that's like the premise mainly. So then onto like the second arc of the campaign, basically what happens is that like my sort of like yeah, we get back from hell / the abyss because we also went to the abyss. So yeah, I've got back from hell, and it turns out like time flows differently between like planes. So so basically the campaign started in the year like 1840, but like when the second arc came, it's now like a year later, so 1841. And while we were gone, like a ton of changes like happened to London. Like basically like there are now like floating eyeballs in the sky with like tentacles coming out of them, and like there's this like weird fog that that has like mechanics attached to it. So like for basically like every like long rest, there is like a sort of like there's a new effect. Like it's like the DM like every long rest, the DM like rolls for like how like sort of like intense the fog is, and then like depending on what they roll on like a percentile die, it's like how like strong the effects of like the fog are. Yeah, okay. This is a really cool mechanic. And yeah, so basically in like the sort of like first like session of like the second arc, we went through this whole thing where what was it? Oh yeah, we met some new characters. One Esty, who is basically like a sort of like Frankenstein sort of character. And they're like a sort of like a homebrew sorcerer, which basically like turns like them into like a melee sort of like sorcerer. It was like a homebrew where like it made like all of like this like the spells like touch range, and they could use their like strength modifier, strength instead of like charisma for like as like their spell casting like stat. It's really cool. And oh yeah, because like basically like how we met SC was that there's this NPC in the campaign called the Brain Broker, who's basically this sort of like this person who serves like the many sort of like factions across the campaign, including the Church of the Divine, which is the cult that created Moira, which is fun. And so yeah, he's basically a guy, they're sort of like, a person who, it feels like, yeah, he's like, his whole thing, like, their whole thing is like body parts and like replacing like limbs, like, for example, like the character over here, like Wilbur Grace, like, he ended up being like revived by the Brain Broker, and like, oh yeah, I forgot to say, there were magic racists in this campaign. Like, and we had to do with like a whole like, they were doing this sort of like rally against magic people, and one of the NPCs there was called Wilbur Grace. He's an American. He was one of the patrons / like allies of like the magic racist organization. And basically, But yeah, Brainbroker, basically like underground doctor, and so we met Esty through them, like, cause in Esty's backstory they were like created by the Brainbroker, and they were like raised to be this sort of like originally they were intended to be a weapon for like an unknown woman with like blue eyes. But like the Brainbroker was like, actually no, I don't want Esty to be this, so I'm gonna like just keep them. So he did that. And then basically how we met Esty was that we ended up at like the Brainbrokers after we just like came back from hell. And the Brainbroker like basically just like paid us to take care of Esty. And then the other PC, the other new PC is called Eugenie. She is a human, and she runs this like bar. It's either a bar or a pub. Like I think it's a pub, but like I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, she's like this sort of like bartender. We don't know like a lot about her yet. But like I'm really excited to see like how our story will go for like the campaign as well. Because I have like heard like bits of it, but I just haven't heard like the full thing, so I'm excited to see how that unfold later on in the campaign. And then there's also this okay. So that's Eugenie. The player also hasn't really been able to like attend like a lot of like sessions yet. So like hopefully like later on though, like we'll be able to see more of Eugenie, and like but yeah, and yeah, so a second arc of the campaign, basically I think I told this like at the beginning of the stream. Basically we got invited to like be security at this like big like sciencey event, and what was it? Yeah. By an unknown person, who I'm pretty sure actually ended up to be this character, Dame Ada, who I'll get into in a minute. So I got invited to this big sciencey event where people were like sort of like auctioning off their inventions and like showing them off as well. And basically there was this thing. Yeah, basically what happened was that like the magic racists from the last arc basically like made an attack on like the big sciencey event, and so basically what they did is that they tried kidnapping like one of the inventors who had this who was presenting their sort of like invention of like a magical like amplification sort of device. So what we think they were probably trying to do was like they were trying to like reverse sort of like purpose of that machine and make it so that it actually like nullifies like magic instead. But like after a huge sort of like combat session, we managed to like defeat the magic racists, and we got the inventor back. We saved her, and then so then which brings us to this week's session. What did I just come back to? Magic racist, yes. Long story, but yeah. So yeah, this week's session was quite something. It was really fun. Even though it was quite it was intense. Like I remember like before like the session, like the DM told us that they had actually like prepared like double the amount of what they usually prepare for sessions. So we got really scared obviously. And I remember as well like because I'll be going abroad like this August, so I won't be able to like attend like any D&D sessions like during like the majority of August. Like basically what like the DM has done for like this campaign was that they were gonna have Moira be kidnapped by her cult. So So I was kind of like scared. Oh, like you're really. So it was really excited to like see. I guess like see like how like they sort of like pulled that off. Like, and. But yeah, yeah. This week's session, basically, we came back from saving this inventor. Oh, there was this whole police investigation that was going on, like not because of like the kidnapping of the inventor, but because like there was this sort of like there was this murder that happened, where actually it was because like oh yeah, because like this guy, the magic racist here, Wilbur Grace, he was part of like the magic racist who attacked like the event, and like because of the inventor that they were like kidnapping, like also like made backups of her machines. Basically Wilbur like and like another magic racist went to like go steal like the backup, but Esley managed to like steal back, managed to like defeat like kill Wilbur and like stop him from like getting the device for the magic racists. But there was this whole thing as well, but because of that, because like Wilbur was one of the benefactors of the whole event, of the big sciencey event, like there was this like massive like, investigation, and Essie was just quaking in their boots the whole time because they did murder Wilbur. And even though it was all because like we basically just we massacred everyone, like the magic racists on the ship, because they just wouldn't stop attacking us, and like I feel like it was a really intense fight as well, but yeah, so yeah, when we came back, luckily we had like cleaned up like the airship, and like we put like all of the bodies into like our like communal bag of holding, which is a thing in our campaign, and like what? Oh yeah, I even made a whole like spreadsheet for like the bag of holding. And one thing I find really funny about is that like we've gathered like so many like NPCs into the bag, like to the point where we literally have like our own section just for like NPCs and living things. And also for like some reason recently, like the DM like also like has access to these, to like the spreadsheet. They put like a mysterious void orb into the bag's inventory, and like for some reason, and that still hasn't been like brought up in the story yet. So I wonder how that's gonna play out. I don't know, probably like, well, I'm not gonna be there unfortunately because I will be abroad and my character will be kidnapped. Where was I? Because like, even though we did technically defeat the magic racists, like the police still frowned upon like killing people, so so basically just had to like make sure that like the police didn't actually clock that we killed people, and we would have been like fine, but like basically like oh, there was this like thing that happened in like this like the session like before like the combat up, where what was it? Oh yeah, basically at the start, like there's this other NPC called Bendor. We all hate Bendor in here. You guys should hate Bendor as well. He's so bad. Like basically like I don't really know any sort of like good like characters to like compare him to, but like basically he's like a super like hated like character in like our campaign because he's like super sleazy. If any of you guys like know Star Kid, like Ted, but like even worse, like with like absolutely no morals. So yeah, like Bendor's basically sort of like, he's like a trader in the arcane, and he's also rumored to have done like occult rituals, and because of that, we were also like thinking that like Bendel was part of like the cults for a while. So then like when he like because of that, like what was it? Oh yeah, basically like when the cult was trying to kidnap Moira in like the first arc, basically the machine that the cult was using actually came from Bendor. So obviously we had to kill the guy. So then when he reappeared for the big sciencey event, Moira just decided to like go up to him and just like try to confront him about like him like potentially being part of the cults. But then he was like, oh, I'm not actually part of the cult, I'm not part of the cult. But then when like Moira dropped a bunch of like data on him that we discovered like way like really like early on in the campaign, like second session, because the first session was based around like us like doing something for Bendor, who was also the benefactor of our investigation agency. So when she tried dropping the doubt on him that like, oh, like you're actually in a deal with like a devil, and like, oh, like you're building this like engine to the void in your basement for some reason, like he got absolutely like triggered by that. Like to the point where he literally like he pinned Moira like against the wall and then manhandled her again when she tried running away, and like he was being like super threatening about it. Like he was like, oh, I'm gonna cut off your tongue, like if you don't like if you tell this to like anyone. And like it got to the point where like Moira had to be saved by like another like PC, so that was really scary. So then like flashback, going back forwards, like this week's session, oh yeah, basically what happened as well, there was a ton of stuff that happened actually. One of the other PCs like accidentally like took part in the auction, and they accidentally like bought like these sort of like anti-magic like handcuffs for like 50k gold. And like obviously we can't afford that. So we're kind of like panicking what to do. And like the handcuffs were also made by this NPC here, Dame Ada. I need to do this. What was I gonna do? Okay. Let's do the pose. Yeah, I'm gonna put some out a bit more. Okay. So yeah, we're planning on what to do with that, and then basically what happened is that like Bendor like came back, and like like what was it? He offered to like buy the handcuffs. Because like the because we didn't have like the money, like the event stuff were being like really like harassy. I mean like, oh, if you don't give us the money right now, we'll like arrest you or something. And because the police were there, that was a very real risk. But then we managed to avoid that because Bendor was like bought the thing. And oh yeah, because I remember also because like right before Moira was like trying to confront Bendor, at first he was like originally he was gonna like talk to this guy, but he had to like shoot like that guy away because Moira's like coming up to him. And so like in like this week's session we actually got to meet that guy, who turned out to be the what was it? Oh yeah, the like Bendor's like devil patron. And basically the guy here, Jim Hawk, he was also like a police sergeant who was like also partaking in the investigation for like Wilbur's murder. Is that no, the hand looks wrong. Is it fine? Yeah. Yeah. Let's clean that up. Okay. No, that doesn't look right. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit better. Yeah, we found out that's like the devil patron. Then what was it? Devil patron. Oh yeah, he was also like a police sergeant for some reason. I think like the patron was the one who pushed Bendel to like buy the to buy the handcuffs. So then after that, we had this like other thing where basically sort of like we need to like we need to like deal with like the magic racist who like we still left alive to do some interrogation on. So basically what we did is that we handed like those like guys like to Jim Hawk. And from that like the sergeant mentioned that there was this sort of like that there was sort of like cause for like alarm in the Covent Garden where like people have been going missing, but officially it's been like just been like labeled as like disappearances. But basically there was this like strange humming that was like that was coming from Covent Garden, and so the sergeant like told us to like investigate that. So yeah, then we went on to like doing that, and then there was this whole like what? Okay, let's read the hand. So we went on to investigate that. I am doing this entirely by memory, so like I don't have my notes open right now. But yeah. Basically what happened with that is so yeah, we went on to investigate that, and when we like came to Covent Garden, like there was this weird like preacher sort of like preacher girl, who was like, oh, the end is nigh, the humming is going to kill us all, and what was it like oh, like I worship this like goddess of doom and destruction, and like oh yeah, and because like a bunch of PCs in like our party was like worshipping another god called like the Rat King, they started having a whole like debate on like on like gods and stuff, which is really funny. So like, and then like from that another person appeared like apologizing for like the preacher, and they directed us like the to the family of like the first like missing person. And basically what happened with that was that so I went to like that family's like, oh wait, no, there was like, okay, there was this whole dream segment that happened, which I should probably get into because they'll probably be useful. Let me just close my curtains real quick. Yeah, a whole dream segment where basically like did I get to I think for now I'm just gonna leave it. But yeah, basically what happened with like one of the with like basically Mora had like a dream where like where like she was like walking in this sort of like palace of like pure black glass, and she was like looking upon this like, oh yeah, she was like and she saw like a street sign in like her dream, and there was a figure standing next to the street sign. They were like cloaked, like and like hooded as well, holding like a cane which Moira recognized to be her grandma's cane. And then from that, like a maggot started like crawling out of like the cloak, and then they just like swarmed Moira completely, and then she woke up. Foreshadowing. We love foreshadowing. So yeah, went to the family of the first missing person, and they basically told us like, oh, like there's this like the missing person was their child called Peter, who like, what was it? Got like, what was it? Not. Yeah. Basically like there was he likes like going to these like maintenance points like of like an abandoned like train line. But like eventually like it got to the point where like Peter just like disappeared like completely when going like into the like the maintenance points. Those hands look weird. Oh, if I'm gonna go back to what I did before. Got that. Yeah, maintenance points. Then there was this whole thing about, what was it? Oh yeah. Oh, and when like my character like tried like when he tried like casting detect thoughts on like one of the family members who was talking to us like while she was sort of like humming like the song. I feel like I'm just fix that later on. I want to get on to actually designing. Like, what was it? Yeah. So when like Moira cast detect thoughts on like that person, like apparently there was this sort of like attraction that was sort of being like felt. So so whatever was causing the humming was like luring like people to like a certain place, which is where they're gonna like they disappeared into. So then after that we went up to like Peter's room, sort of like to I guess sort of like see like his sort of like states of mind before he was sort of like taken, and we found like that like, oh yeah, because like the family that Peter was part of, they were like a family of cobblers, so they made a whole bunch of stuff, and there was this really like weird bit where basically we found that Peter made like tons of like dolls, porcelain dolls, but the really weird thing is that like was that like Moira recognized the dolls as like her doll from like her childhood, and also when like we also saw drawings that Peter did that were of like Moira's like home that she has lived in all her life, and like I think faces as well, but the DM didn't specify which faces exactly. But yeah. So then like after that we decided to go investigate the point where like everyone's like disappearing off to, and basically what happened is that like basically there was like a ton of like basically like what like where people were sort of being led into was this sort of like underground sort of like corridor like hallway of just like a line of rooms, but like it was basically like it was like basically rooms and like Oh, my brain's not working today. Yeah, it was this like sequence of like rooms like underground. It was like really like and like some really creepy stuff happened in there. Oh yes, probably trigger warning for body horror and gore. So if you don't like that stuff, tune out for a bit. But like basically like I don't know if I'm gonna go into like all of like the rooms in detail. But basically like we got actually no I don't really need to walk on if I'm not gonna go into it. But yeah, basically like went through like a whole bunch of rooms where like some really like nasty stuff was happening. Really gory stuff. Like there was like a guy who I think who probably is Pisa. He was basically just like trapped in this like torture chamber where like basically like I think yeah, this is the body horror like section. Well like basically like a bell was sort of like rammed like into his head, and there were like train tracks just like piercing in on like every single limb on his body, and he was still alive as well, so we had to put him out of his misery. So that was one of the rooms. Another room was this sort of like fountain of blood, and there was this ritual book next to it that was like, oh, like this is how to correctly ritually sacrifice a ton of people at once. And then like with like the room like I think there were like 4 rooms in total. I forgot to get into like those like the rooms I just mentioned are like the final room, because the final room is where shit went down. Basically what happened was that what was it? Oh yeah, basically we found that there was this like eldritch creature that was causing like all of the humming and like luring like people in like with its like humming. And I remember like the DM had us make charisma saves, and like I got a nat 20 on my save as well. And but because of a mechanic that our DM like put in called like fear points, which I think is inspired off of like sanity from Call of Cthulhu, where basically like if something like scary happens, like you have to make like a wisdom save, and if you fail that wisdom save, you gain a fear point. So then in like certain like rolls, like you get like the number, you get a number taken away from like your like roll for that like your roll, like depending on like how many fear points you have like accumulated at that time. So yeah, so like even though I got a nat 20 on like my charisma save, because like I had like 5 fear points at the time, like I only got like a 15, which ended up like failing the DC. So then my character and like another PC SC were like walking towards like the creature about to be eaten, until basically like all the way back in like the first arc when Moira was being kidnapped, there was this guy who was leading the whole operation for kidnapping Moira. And like basically what happened like with that guy in that session when he was like first sort of like introduced like properly into the campaign, he sort of like he basically got like abused by the party. Like he got like pinned by this like by one PC, then he got like his like tongue stabbed out, and he got like pushed down, like he got kicked down like a massive like valley, but he somehow ended up like surviving that, because I'm pretty sure he's like at least like a 15th like level like paladin, like a paladin equivalent, which is like a lot. And like basically like what happened was that guy when Moira and Nessie were about to be consumed by the monster, that guy just came into the room just like clapping. Oh yeah, I forgot to say he was also like he was also like the really manipulative like cultist that Mora is talking to. That was sort of like one of the sort of like what was it? That's sort of like almost like convinced it's like going back. And that was also like the same like cultist where like no nah. But like yeah, he came out, started clapping, was like, oh, good show, good show. And basically like he revealed that this whole like investigation was actually a trap laid out by the church in order to actually capture Mora properly this time. And basically like he had this sort of like eldritch immunity thing where like when he like touched people, like he could like drag them out of like sort of like being like enthralled by like the creature that we were facing. So he did that to Moira, but he didn't do that for Esli, so Esli was still walking towards the monster, and like it got to the point where like Moira literally had to like give herself up in order to like save in order for like the guy to save Esli. So basically what happened is that the guy made Moira like read this like incantation from like a book, which ended up like teleporting her away. And then basically what happened was that what happened after that is that like the guy basically just like villain monologues and then went away, but not before like one of the PCs like managed to like get a grenade onto him, and he actually got like a nat 1 on like the save on that of that as well, but because he's like super strong, he still was able to like tank that. That looks wrong. But yeah, after the guy like disappeared, like SC managed to like reach out to the creature and soothe it. But the thing is with the Esli, like their sort of like magic is very sort of like volatile, because sorcerer, and basically what like our GM has like Esli do sometimes is that they have them do a sort of like I think it's like a wisdom save, and like so while like Esli was trying to soothe the creature, the DM had like Esli do like a wisdom save against their own like spell save DC, and Esli ended up like failing. So then what happened was that Esli like just like full on like absorbs like the eldritch creature into like their flesh, and basically essentially just killed it. So now there was no more humming, and yeah, the party was just like so sort of like left alone, like I guess, and like so then like when they were like sort of like allowed to like leave the location, oh yeah, because like the occultist guy said that like he had a bunch of like he had a surprise like planned for the party, but because of like and like the surprise ended up being like the party being faced by the police, like trying to arrest them. So that's where we ended off with like the rest of the party, and then like we sort of like ended with like Moira's POV, where basically like after she got teleported away, she was like sent to this like dark like wait, I don't know exactly if it's like a room or if it's just like a place. I'm scared it's like I'm kind of scared it's gonna be like a place in like the void where like her dad's domain is, because that's gonna be really hard to get out of. But like basically she got like she just like stayed there for like a while. Then she met the cultist guy again, who basically just told her that her grandmother's waiting for her. And then that is actually where we ended off the session. Yeah, it was really intense and scary, but really fun. Yeah, and yeah, I remember like I was also kicking myself in hindsight as well, because there was so much foreshadowing that we just didn't clock. like I was full on, like, when I was like doing my notes for the session, I was full on like writing out my notes as if like I was like an English A-level student, like, oh, like this thing foreshadowed this thing and this thing foreshadowed this thing, and like, yeah, and like, yeah, absolutely crazy session. I remember as well, like one thing I found really funny was that I actually accidentally predicted what happened in the session, because I remember I was talking about the like the mysterious void orb from earlier on in the campaign. Not earlier in the campaign, but earlier on in like the week, with like my partner. Was like texting them about it. It's like, oh, like what if the mysterious void orb is actually a trap? And then this week's session happened, so yeah. Welp. So yeah, my character is screwed. The rest of the party is screwed. And I can't wait to see how we'll get out of this one. Yay. But yeah, oh yeah, I think I forgot to, yeah. Oh yeah, so Dame Ada, basically she was the one who invented the handcuffs. And I think she's also the person who invited our party, like, into the big sciencey event. And like, as well, and basically I think like how the DM sort of described her was that she was this sort of like, what was it? Yeah, she was like old, like in her 70s, like really high cheekbones, and also she's like dressed very sort of expensively and like finely, like really elaborate bun in her hair. So I'm gonna see if I could like try to like capture that. And yeah, this guy Jim Hawk, he's the devil patron of Bendor. He was I don't think we got like a proper like description of him. But like, I think the only description that we got, that he was like dressed like really sort of like regally, like fancy. I think like he was in like full suit, even though he is just like a police sergeant. Then Wilbur Grace is like the sort of like American, and that's basically his character. He's an American, and I guess maybe also magic racist. But yeah, it's really funny as well, cause like in like the first arc, we did kill Wilbur, but for some reason he was able to come back, because apparently like the Brain Broker like sewed like his head like back on, but like this time we've like basically disintegrated him into a puddle, so hopefully he doesn't come back from that, because I do not want him to be Purple Guy. I don't know anything about FNAF, but like, yeah. It was about so I don't know. I don't know FNAF lore. But yeah, hopefully he doesn't come back. But my gut feeling tells me that he probably will. So oh well. But yeah. I think like so far like my day's been like okay. What was it? Oh, I was playing on like Take 5 like off stream like earlier today, and I managed to actually like finish like the main body of my tree like base now. So all I need to do now is add the branches and the leaves, and then I can probably get to work onto like my birdhouse. I don't know if because I think I'm gonna do a sort of birdhouse thing for my base, where I'm gonna like have it like sort of like hang off to the side. Because I remember as well, like I was like, the tree is like super like uneven in terms of like the stump. Like it's not like it's barely circular. And I think like at the beginning of the build, like I accidentally left like a sort of like, hold on. What was it? Piece thing. Yeah, accidentally left like a completely like flat side of like the stump. So I had to like so like literally like right before I was about to finish, I had to like go back and like fix that. Which is like really annoying. Like but I managed to do it in the end. So now I have my base. That's fun. But yeah, it's been, so yeah. Oh yeah, I think I remember as well, like, I feel like today's stream was originally supposed to be like an art fight stream, but because like I think like oh yeah, I have like received a few attacks instead, which I'm super grateful for. Like, you guys are artists, like, I love you guys' art. I love seeing art in general. If anyone's on art fight, if you draw Moira, my life is yours. My life is yours. Wait, what's it? What's it like? What's the Kratos? It's like, I'm trying to replay the thing in my head. If you draw Moira, my life is yours. Like, I need to, yeah. Yeah, I think like but I think like the reason why I kind of like changed last minute was that like like I kind of find I kind of like slow down when like drawing on like streams a lot, because I like end up like because I feel like I kind of like find it a bit hard to multitask. So because of that, like, I kind of like end up being like slower to draw when I'm like talking with like people. So I feel like, cause like the end of July is coming up really soon. What I might do is that like when it gets to like the last few days of July, I might just like spam like art fight streams, but I'll probably have like I'll probably like reply to chat like really like minimally, cause I really need to lock in. But yeah. Sure, looking right now. Oh, I really need to collect references before I actually started this. Oh well. Okay, this is the pose we're going for. Okay. I don't really like this sort of pose though, it feels a bit stiff. Maybe if I fold it, I feel like maybe if I fold this arm in, then I could also like solve the hand of me, like. Maybe. Clasping her hands together like that? No, it looks awkward. Like I said, I might just like leave it a bit like lower down like that. And if it bends, it's like that. Yeah, okay. Well, I actually kind of feel like the form's a bit long here, so I can reduce that. No. Okay. can't. I don't know what to do with this pose. I should think, yeah, if I want to leave it like full, like flat. Okay. Oh, I still don't think that. Okay. I'm gonna leave it at that. Because I need to move on. Yeah, I feel like. Okay. Nope. Get that. This character will probably stand up very sort of like tall. It's fine, just pose a little bit. No. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I think I want to sort of like change the so that she's looking at us. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. think I'm actually gonna get the thing that doesn't look very nice. I'm gonna try flipping that. Nope, it's not it. Okay, there. Okay, that's okay. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, I think I've finally started to get the pose a bit looking a bit more cooler. Like, I think for like the way she's sort of like acted in the campaign so far, she's very sort of like, what's the word? It's very sort of like high class, classy. Let's get on to drawing her face. to the body now. Yeah, I feel like for me, whenever I create designs, I always sort of like make I always like make the sort of like I always like separate all the parts together, all the parts. So like if in the future if I ever need to like change something or there's been like an update, I can just like I can just like go back to like what I've already drawn and just like draw over that. I should place it on the cheekbones and say draw the rest of the face. I want to give a bit more like prominent like eyebrows. I think that'd be cool. Okay, I don't really. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. I think something about the nose probably. Haven't. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, for nice check eyes. I think I'm not the best at like drawing wrinkles. I think I just need to do a bit more sort of like studies. I mean, this looks kind of decent. But again, I am doing this without reference, and I forgot about her high cheekbones. How do I even represent that in the drawing? Oh wait, no. Ah, oh well, okay. It's fine. I could fix that. Okay. Oh no, that's what I wanted to not erase. Okay, maybe this could. Okay. It's not just the body. It's air. I forget also probably will like put this into like a fist. So it's easier for me in general. Okay. Okay, we got this. I should make the head up slightly bigger. I should might as well make photos. And for some reason, like my screen capture app for like, because I use my I think I use like an inbuilt app and also like stream my tablet to my PC. But like for some reason it doesn't like let me like use the keyboard on my tablet, so unfortunately I cannot. I'm not able to sort of label my layers. It's kind of weird, but yeah, we roll with it. Okay. I think I can really flip this back around. Okay. 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 Yeah. Alright, okay. My throat is weird. That's okay. Yeah, I'd like to give it like bushy eyebrows. I think that'd be cute. Alright, if we can finally ready to move on to the outfit. And hair. I'll probably deal with hair first, that's probably easiest. I'm pretty sure like her hair was described as sort of like elaborate bun, and like I think I might do like one of those like top buttons like that. And it was also mentioned that she had like some sort of like hairpin as well. Really elaborate, expensive looking like hairpin. Maybe something like... Oh. Yeah, I can figure out. Actually, yeah, you know what? Let me look at some references, because that'll probably be really helpful. Oh, I kinda like this one I found. Okay, let's see if we can do that. Let's try another sketch. Now with our reference in hand. I think I need to make this area a bit more puffed out. Let's do that. Okay. I think I could. Okay. Oh, because I think there's a bit more like hair hanging off here. Oh, yeah, because I think pretty in like the session as well. I think I joked that like, because of like Dame Ada's age, I joked that like, oh, like maybe she knew my grandma. Then the DM was like, oh, maybe you'll find out. So yeah, because I guess I do have like a theory that she is like part of like the cult. But at the same time, like she could, if she could also like potentially be like maybe sort of like ex-cultist as well, maybe. That's my theories. No, wrong tool. Has here. I feel like I'm making this side a bit too flat, so let me fix that. Drawing hairstyles is so hard to draw. Yeah, I think I'm adding a bit too many strands at this part. Oh yeah, okay, I think I'm like starting to like this a bit more now. The power of references, yes. Just gonna block out the hair so I can see how it looks like without the head. Okay. Okay, it looks decent. Let's tidy up around here. I think for me, whenever I go, whenever I make designs, I usually like go straight from like sketch, like so I don't really like bother like doing line art. I think I don't really bother doing like line art anyway. Like, I mean, because like sometimes it is like really like fun to sort of like do. At the same time, I kind of get like a bit like repetitive. Okay, if we need to connect that to there. That to there. Do 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 do. Okay. Okay, I think this should be. Okay, if I buff this out a bit more. I think so. I think I'll just like liquefy all this. Yeah, I think that would be cool. Should I add a hat on her? Maybe. wonder if I could raise these cheekbones even higher. Okay, now I can do that. Okay, I think I'm not gonna bother doing the other side of the cheekbone. Oh, okay. Outfit time. I'm looking for references. Well, I kind of like this one I've come across. So this one is like a flat out sort of like thing. I don't know, that looks a bit evil though. Okay. Maybe if I implement something like an A somehow in her design. Okay. Let's go for like flat sleeves for her. Oh, okay. Do sort of like open jacket thing, I think. Looks like that in like the references I have. Okay, let's see. I mean, that bottle should look fine. Maybe. Nah. Okay. I don't think I'll bother like filling in the legs. So the whole dress is already covering it. I feel like when it comes to moon designs, I have this like really bad habit of mine that like I'd always like go for like the first design I come up with. The things that comes with that though look like what I used to do with like a ton of like my old designs is that as like time would go on, I'd keep on like revising the outfit even though like I thought it was already finished when it was not. And like I think I've slightly gotten better at that. I've like tried like actually sort of like starting to like testing out like variations before like I settled on like a final sort of version. Because I think for me, I feel like I just tended to get a bit too impatient sometimes. Like so I'm like, oh, I just want to get this over already, so I just like go over this. But like later on, it's like, oh, why am I changing this again? It's like, yeah. I think like one rule that really helped me is like the sort of like I think not really rule, but sort of more just like I think it's like just like a thing people say where it's like, oh, you never really like go with your first like idea sort of thing. I think that's along the lines of how you say it. Yeah. Okay, I think this looks cool. Let me see if I could add some of this sort of like fold, because I really like this. Whenever I've tried to like design like with like this sort of like fold, I don't know what's called, this like draped cloth. Like I never really sort of like I'm able to like, get it like look right. I think yeah, it looks fine. Quick sketch. I think like even though like I think like my first ideation looks pretty okay, so I might just go with that. But like, I feel like I think it's okay if I just like leave it like the first ideation for this, cause like she's just an NPC anyway, so we probably won't be seeing her a ton. But like by the implications of my DM, probably she will probably have a bigger role to play maybe. Oh yeah, cause I also had like another theory where I was thinking that maybe the like oh yeah, cause I remember like I think a while back. Like Moira's cult, like originally, like the first leader was her grandma. Then apparently there was like there was a second leader that came along, kind of like changed a bunch of stuff. Did us I think like also like an uphaul? Is that what they say? Not upheaval, but like overhaul. That's the word. But like. So I was thinking that like, oh, like maybe you could like, if like Dame Ada really is like parts of the cult, and she's like, oh, actually, yeah, I could do this. Yeah, she is like part of the cult. That like, then maybe, she, oh, it was it? No, it was like, but like the second leader was kind of like stated to be a sort of like, a vestige. So I was thinking that like maybe like because I think at like this moment in time in the story, like Rose grandma's like ascended, so she's in like the same like I think she's technically in the void, so she has like some power. So I was thinking that like maybe like if it's true that Dame Ada really is part of the cult and she like did like know like Rose grandma. And given because like the age range is like really similar as well, I was thinking that like maybe Dame Ada could turn out to be some sort of vessel for Moira's grandma, maybe? I don't know, I feel like probably won't turn out to be the case, but that would be cool. Because they kind of give like similar vibes. And because I feel like the the sort of like I feel like the trap laid out by the church wasn't just like the humming, but it was also like the big science event. So if like Dame Ada, because I think because of the reason why I thought Dame Ada was involved as well, was because like she was the one who invited the party to be security, because after like the event we got rewarded like magic items as like our payment for being security, and Dame Ada's assistant was the one who did who gave us the magic items, so it's supposed to likely her. So I was thinking like maybe she's the one who sort of like not really orchestrated, but like started off like the whole thing by like inviting the party to the big sciencey event, and yeah, I'm kind of sad I'll be unable to go to like sessions, because I'm gonna like be missing out on the juicy lore. Because I'm also like I'm basically like, the archivist of like my group. Like I basically record like all the sessions. I am the note taker as well, the main note taker, and like I just go like crazy in general when it comes to like the story sort of like content of like D&D. Just put a pocket on the other side as well. I want to see if I can get this design done by the end of stream. Colouring and all. Okay. Okay, I like that. I like the look of that. Just move this underneath the hair. I shall get started on colouring. can't exactly remember what. Okay. Skin tone wise, I think I'll go for like. Maybe like a slight tan. Or like, because I feel like, okay. Hmm. Actually, I think I'll just sort like skin tone later. Let's go into the, might as well just go into the clothes. Because I don't think we got given exact, like, yeah. Clothes. Yeah, she gives me like blue vibes, so I'll go with that. Or like maybe like a navy. I feel like navy probably like, because that looks a bit more like businesswoman like. Let's block out the whole of this outfit with the color, and I can add more detail and more colors later on. I feel like what I might do for like the other designs on this page is that like I used to do this thing like I do this thing where like instead of like sketching in like doing like line arts like sketching like doing like lines I mean making strokes that sounds weird like what I like to do is sort of like because in like Clip Studio Paint they have this like feature where you can like automatically add like outlines to like a layer, and those like outlines or like automatically like update as you continue drawing on that layer. So basically what I do is that I lasso tool, like I block out the shapes of like the clothing, and then I use the outline like layer setting to automatically make like line art for me, and that usually results in like really like smooth looking sort of like designs. This one probably turn out a bit rough because like I think as I said earlier, I don't really sort of like tend to do more like proper line art for designs. But yeah, it's okay. I'm really excited to see how like the new NPCs will sort of like play out in the story. I don't know if that's the right blue. Maybe if I add some like texture later on. Okay. Then I think I'll do the hair as well. Hair wise. Oh yeah, she's like, you're sure it's grey hair, so I don't need to think about that. Make that a bit more silvery. Yeah, like that. Oh yeah, actually yeah. I'm vibing with that. don't know how like I'll work in the hairpin. I feel I need to look up some more references again. Okay. Let's get rid of these parts. I accidentally went over a brush instead of the transparent color thing. I feel like ever since I moved over to Clip Studio Paint from Ibis Paint, like there's so many features of like Clip Studio Paint that I wish like Ibis had. Like I still use like Ibis for like informal sort of like drawings where like, and like even like the editing and like post-production onto like my illustrations as well, because it's just like easier to just like add like effects on Ibis than it is like Clip Studio. Transparent color, I really like. I cannot live without that. Whenever I work in like Ibis, and also I think like, what's another thing like I kind of miss? Probably like. Oh yeah, but like probably like the customization of like the workspace as well. So it's like really cool seeing like how people sort of like set up their like their Clip Studio paints. Because I think like I kind of got mine from like on like the Clip Studio paints like assets. Because I think like the main reason why I got like Clip Studio Paint on my tablet is that like I needed to animate for a school project and I didn't want to have to like I guess sort of like because like like the animation program that we use at like my school, we used like Toon Boom Harmony, so like we had to so we had to like work on the computers if we wanted to animate. I think some people in my school just ended up just like working on like iPads / like tablets anyway. I know one guy who like worked on like Procreate Dreams and he did a 20-minute full-on like animation for a school project, and like I was so intimidated by him. But like, yeah, I like so yeah, like the workspace I have right now, it's like based off like an animated workspace. I think it's called like Will's like animated like workspace or something like that. I think it's probably one of like the first results if you search like animation like workspace on Clip Studio Paint. Oh, notice on the wrong layer. I'm always scared of that happening. It absolutely sucks. Oh wait, I forgot to rub out something. Okay, there. There you go. Oh yeah, actually wait, hold on, I need to figure out. Let's have it like that. No, that's gonna, yeah, I forgot to have it like go off like that. There we go. Looks a bit better. I don't want to add like pure white to this. Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna go on a quick toilet break, so I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Okay. This thing I want to do, I'm gonna do a bit more of a sort of like deeper sort of like skin tone like that. Okay, that feels about good. Yeah, okay, I like that. I might make this on the warm side. Yeah, okay, I like that. little folder for the face. Then some face colors. Do 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 do. Add sort of like brownish eyes. Okay. I think that's a bit similar to like another character I have. So maybe I should just go on like full on like the navy. Oh no, wait. Oh no, wait, no, never mind, because like blue eyes kind of like relevant for like another character in the campaign, so can't have blue eyes, I guess. So let me experiment like red eyes. Could that work? Kind of. I think I do prefer like maybe more pinkish sort of eyes. Yeah, I feel like for me like a lot of it's like my colors just come down to like experimenting with stuff. Do I want to go for like a super light pink? Because I think that kind of takes away from like, yeah, something darker like that. More muted. I kind of like the shade earlier, like was like a bit like that. Would purple eyes fit? I feel like these are kind of speaking to me the most right now, but I don't know if like anyone else has that sort of like shade in their eyes they've already designed. I don't think so. So maybe this should be okay then. So the pupils, just because I forgot to add them. Let's clean that up. Yeah, okay, I think, yeah, there's that sort of thing. Yeah, okay, like. Alright, okay. Before I also add some like colour to the lips. Actually, I think it actually gives me the vibes of like having lipstick, I think. I feel like I always add lipstick to my characters. Like makeup. So wait, for this one I only put lipstick. Yeah, okay. I like the look of this. Let's move this a bit closer. Okay, now I need to go into coloring the rest of the outfit. Then I think that should be it. No, okay. Let's keep doing this. Add some like darker. Okay. Ooh, yeah, actually, yeah, I kinda like that. I feel like I'm probably gonna jinx it by saying this, but like I can't believe, like, cause like my screen capture like app was absolutely tweaking out during the art fight stream, but now it's like suddenly behaving. It's like, but yeah, okay. So maybe I'll do the sleeves as well. The clip so it says, okay. Okay, yeah, I like that. Okay, we're gonna add some like lighter elements back into the piece as well. Some like trim, because like I think she is like a very like prim and proper sort of like character. Okay, so it's different. What's that? Okay. If I add some like silver trimming, that would be cool. Let's find the color that I usually use for silver. Yeah, okay. Oh, I think, yeah, I think I prefer with like lighter colours. Yeah, it looks way better. Okay, okay. Well, I feel like maybe if I add some sort of like pattern to like somewhere, so we could spice it up a bit, maybe. Okay. I think this should be fine. Okay. This is good. Oh. Okay, I was gonna check. So, I'm gonna go for some references. Oh, because if I do something in gold, then I'll probably have to make... I mean, it should be fine. Or maybe I could do some sort of like jewel instead. It's like a cool jewel. I could also go with the outfit. Maybe something like aquamarine? I don't feel like that would blend in too much though. Maybe green? I feel like maybe green could be, yeah. I think I'll go with green. Go green. Oh, where did I put that? So I think I'll probably just like make it some sort of like jewel, I guess. Oh, I don't know. Okay, I don't know how to place this properly. Oh, nope. Okay, maybe not green then. Oh. I don't know how to place that properly. I mean, because I think for like the hairstyle right now, I think the hairpin will probably be situated at like the back, since that's where like all the hair's being pulled into, I think. So I guess I could just like might as well just skip that part then. Alright, so in that case, this is what we will end the stream with today. So, ta-da! We did that. Okay, okay, nice. Okay, well actually, let me just put a bit more trimming. I think I call it trimming, but there's probably like a better word for it. Embellishment, maybe? I feel like I overuse like, just like adding like metal like onto like shiny stuff like onto like my designs a bit, but like it looks cool and it makes it look a bit more like refined, so like it works. So yeah, okay. So let me see if this could work. So we could have like a what's it, a free sort of three colors, three different shades of blue. Okay. Okay. Yeah, maybe for like if I do the inside instead of the outside, that could work. Because I think in like the references I see, I think like the drape is sort of like a different color anyway, but let me double check. Yeah, in that case maybe I'll just make the skirts be this other color. Okay, I think that can work. Oh, nope. Always on there. Oh. Actually, yeah, that was the right layer. Never mind. Okay, layer? Layer, yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, alright. This is what I have. So, end result. Yes. Alright. Yeah, sorry if I was a bit tired, bit quiet today, I was a bit tired, I got a bit tired. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. And, oh yeah, and I shall see you next time. I don't know if, like, I'll probably, next stream probably an art fight stream, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, actually, bye!